Ryder, and I'm going to present my Reynolds Community College Business Program Marketing Plan. So the company description is obviously the Reynolds Community College Business Program, and this marketing plan will go over who our target audience is, who our competitors are, what strengths and weaknesses our program has, and how we can market it so we can expand and gain more traction in this program. So there's three goals to this marketing plan that I have. And the first one is to provide research-based learning opportunities to students so we can provide them with a good experience that is reviewable and transferable to four-year institutions. And the second goal is to engage and foster student success. So similar to the first goal, I want the students to have a good experience, and I want them to be able to market the program themselves just based off the progress that they made and the success that they've had. And the last goal is to enhance professional learning and practice. So the goal is for this program to enhance professional learning, so have a good learning experience, and practice, which means that they can go out into the business world and be successful. So my pestle analysis, I found for the political aspect of it, that cutting funding for traditional colleges has been an issue recently in the political world, which could be an issue for Reynolds because community colleges obviously don't require as much money to run as other institutions. And an economic challenge that we could face is COVID resulting in falling tuition revenue. So COVID's been a big issue with falling tuition revenue because not as many students are going to school anymore because of COVID. And next up, I have technological. So we have personalized learning, AI, and virtual reality. So technological advances can be used to help us expand upon our business program. Obviously, personalized learning and AI, you can kind of wrap those together because you can make good learning plans and lessons using AI. Obviously, you still want the human aspect to it, but AI can help you organize it. And we have virtual reality, which can be used in the business world, as we've seen with Mark Zuckerberg's metaverse. And for the legal aspect of things, we have discrimination and disability acts. They've been legal issues in the past, especially with colleges, so it's important that we look out for those. So for the SWOT analysis, I gathered strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And some strengths that I found in our program is that the graduates benefit financially. I think we've seen this. I'm actually transferring to VCU this fall, and it is far more expensive than I was paying at Reynolds, probably 2 or 3 times more expensive. So graduating from Reynolds has really benefited me financially. I've saved thousands of dollars. Weaknesses, we do have a little bit of a limited curriculum, and we have a lighter workload, and I think it's evident that there's a lack of student engagement. I don't know if that's a stigma with community colleges, but sometimes it feels like it can be hard to find friends. But we also have opportunities. We have an easier balance when it comes to school, work, and personal life. So I found that I've been able to work full time and still have time to hang out with my friends and family while also dealing with school. I feel like Reynolds is very flexible because we have virtual and in person and hybrid classes such as this one. And lastly, the threats. I think the biggest threat is obviously competition from other schools. We have VCU, we have U of R, Randolph-Macon. I think all these schools are big competitors. We also have Bright Point Community College. I think they're big competitors. Obviously, Bright Point Community College is right down the road, offers competitive prices. So it's important that there's something that makes us stand out from the other schools. So once again, taking a look at our competitors, we have the 4-year business programs and we have other 2-year business programs. So the examples that I brought into this are we have VCU, U of R, Bright Point, Randolph-Macon isn't on there, but that's another example. I think There's no shortage of colleges in Virginia, so it's very important that Reynolds finds its own way to stand out and build a good reputation. So, when looking at the customer analysis, I first looked at the characteristics of our target audience, which seems to be traditional college-age students and adult learners. So, these are people aged 18 to 33. And when it comes to customer awareness, I found that we should probably go to local events, do campus tours, and obviously, I think the best marketing is word of mouth because it spreads so quickly. People are always talking, so we should find ways to have people talking about the Reynolds Business Program. And that starts obviously with going out to local events, talking to people, and providing campus tours on campus, on in the Richmond campus, Goochland campus, Pam Road campus, doesn't matter where. And obviously, there's customer concerns that come with this. They may have concerns with balancing school and work life. And I think it's evident that there's a perception of community colleges versus four-year programs. So we just need to find ways to tell these people that, hey, our program is very reputable. We've had very successful people come out of this program, and our facilities are top of the line. So some marketing activities that we could do to promote Reynolds and the business program is flyers and handouts. They're very cheap to make, and you can hand them out to anybody. You don't even have to say much to them because the flyer says it itself. But obviously, it could also start conversations with people because people might ask questions about it. Or you could put a phone number on there that has Reynolds' phone number on it. So if they have any questions about it, they can talk to one of the lovely faculty at Reynolds. And I think social media is another marketing activity that is very effective nowadays because I know a lot of us probably follow Reynolds on social media. So if we start posting up maybe challenges of some sort or just posts that stand out on social media, finding ways to get the likes and the traction that we need to become successful. And lastly, community outreach, I found is probably one of the best marketing activities. It kind of comes with word of mouth. We go out to local events, we talk to people about who we are and what we're trying to do. And if they're a prospective business student, then they should look into coming to Reynolds. So I have a 3-month implementation plan with the first 2 weeks involving designing flyers, and weeks 2 through 9, we're going to launch social media ads on Instagram, TikTok, and Snapchat because I found those are the biggest 3 social media platforms that our target audience goes on. And weeks 3 through 6, we're going to do 2 things. We're going to schedule high school visits because that's a big part of our target audience, and we're going to attend several job fairs because there are obviously jobs that may require an associate's degree, and we could talk to people and mention that Reynolds is a very good place to get that, especially within our business program. And weeks 3 through 9, we're going to hand out flyers at local events. Like I said, flyers, super cheap to make. You can make hundreds of them, hand them out, start conversations, and get that word of mouth marketing going. And weekly, we'll be checking the engagement numbers on our social media ads. Super easy to do that. You need to really check weekly because you need to see what days the posts are getting the most traction so you can start scheduling your posts effectively. So we also have our budget and our financial projections. The budget that we were given was about $1,000. So I chopped it out in digital marketing being about $400 for the post, just depending how many you post, when, and for how long. And the community outreach is going to cost about $350 for a few weeks going out to these events. That also just depends if you're using volunteers, if people are getting paid to go out there, and where we're going. And the flyers are $80. That was for about, I think it was for about 200 to 300 flyers. They're super cheap to make. It's just a matter of finding someone to design them and where you're going to design them at. So the total goes out to be roughly $830 for this marketing plan. And the remaining costs from the $1,000 budget can be used on contests or giveaways, or you can just